Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of our weekly news roundup. I am your host Stando, and I want to apologize for this video being a day late. We normally release these on Friday, but we're releasing this one on Saturday because there was a lot of news this week. Today, though, we're going to be talking about the Xbox Series S reveal and the price and release date for the Xbox Series S and Xbox Series X. We're also going to be talking about EA putting ads in their premium games because they're EA, and we're going to be talking about the Ubisoft Forward, which is the reason why this video is a day late. Before we get into today's topics, though, guys, I want to remind you that I do stream 5 days a week on Twitch currently, and we have an awesome Discord community. Links, of course, in the description box below. And if you're new around here, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe, and hopefully help my little small channel grow on here on YouTube. With all of that out of the way, guys, let's get into today's video. Over Labor Day weekend, the Xbox Series S was leaked via Twitter, and it turns out that the leaks were true because Xbox responded a day later confirming that yes, there is an Xbox Series S, and cool. I do have to be honest with you guys, the Xbox Series S does look like a one-eye stove burner that you would have in probably your dorm room. Or like a really large Bluetooth speaker. But aesthetics aside, let's dig into the console itself, because it's releasing at a very low $300 price point, which could prove to be a PlayStation killer. Of course, we'll have to wait until all the consoles are out there in the wild to make that definitive, but it is very tempting what they are doing with this console. It's confirmed that the beefier Xbox Series X will be selling at $500. And the specs of the newly revealed Series S, it's comparable to what you would expect of the price point, right? It has half of the storage capacity, only half a terabyte instead of 1 terabyte hard drive. It has 10 gigs of RAM instead of 16 gigs of RAM. The clock speeds are slower. And it doesn't have a disk drive, no Blu-ray drive. There are some concerns when it comes to logistics on the dev side, but that's something that they're going to have to figure out, and it shouldn't affect the overall consumer experience. But what is really cool about all of this is the Xbox All Access initiative behind the launch of the new consoles. It is a financing option for the Xbox where you can pick up a Series S for $25 a month over a 24-month period. That also includes Game Pass Ultimate, Xbox Live Gold, and is a really great value. Really astonishing. This option is going to be available at local retailers like Best Buy, Walmart, GameStop, Target, and of course the Microsoft Store, and that's all that's listed as of right now. It doesn't stop there though, guys, because you can get the much more powerful, beefier 4K Big Brother, the Series X, for only $35 a month over the same period. This is a huge incentive for people to pick up a console and get invested into the services that Microsoft has been offering, and it's a really great value, especially for those who have been severely impacted by the current state of the world. On price alone, it could kill the PlayStation, right? But the PlayStation as of right now is still up into the wind when it comes to price and when it comes to release date. The Xbox devices will be releasing this November, November the 10th. I'm still going to be getting a PS5 simply because I feel like my PC is strong enough to run the next generation of Xbox games. Not only that, but I am solely invested in what Sony is doing with their first party lineup. But if you're not invested in the Sony first party IPs and you don't have a very beefy PC to play Xbox games, and the PS4 could be out of your price range, this is an awesome value. I am so impressed with how consumer friendly the Xbox All Access program is. And that being said, guys, I wouldn't be surprised if the Xbox brand jumps out to a huge lead with a huge advantage in the next generation. But again, we haven't heard from PlayStation, nothing official anyway. We have heard a lot of speculation that it's going to cost $500 for the full Blu-ray version of the console, the physical medium version of the console, but the discless digital only is going to be $400. Those prices aren't set in stone. There's nothing official coming from PlayStation, but I do have to say, where there's sparks, there's usually fire. EA has made some sports fans angry again. Big surprise. This time, though, it's not the Madden crowd, but rather the UFC crowd, because the latest UFC game had ad campaigns for products like Amazon's The Boys running blatantly integrated into the game between matches. When fans first started complaining, EA execs said it was a way to make the game seem like a real television broadcast and more immersive, and fans became more outraged and started review bombing the game and pointed out how shady it was that EA implemented this practice 2 weeks after release so that they could dodge reviewers at these media outlets. EA has since backtracked on the policy and has taken the feature out of the game, but this just goes to show how far they're willing to go, and it also shows what I felt about EA for a long time, and that is that they are a publisher first, and it's made up of a bunch of executives that make really poor decisions when it comes to their products, and they only care about lining their own pockets rather than giving customer a true value experience. And it's a shame, too, since they carry a lot of popular licenses that have large fandoms surrounding them. It's just unfortunate. And finally, guys, let's talk about the Ubisoft Forward that happened on September 10th and is the primary reason why this video is a day late. The Ubisoft presentation kicked off with what was previously known as Gods and Monsters, and it has been rebranded as Immortals: Rise of Phoenix. And from what I understand from everyone that's had some hands-on time with this game, and from what I can tell from the visual presentation that they've given us, this is blatantly a Breath of the Wild clone, and that's not a bad thing. The game is set in the mythological Greek, on a mythological Greek island, and honestly, it looks like a breath of fresh air. And perhaps, maybe that's what they should have called the game and rebranded it as, is Breath of Fresh Air. Anyway, guys, puns aside, I can't wait to get my hands on this game. It looks amazing. It looks like a world that I want to get lost in, and actually looks like an Ubisoft title that I can really get behind. It's different from Ubisoft the game. They showed Prince of Persia: Sands of Time remake, and it made me very happy because Prince of Persia is getting attention, and that's awesome because the IP has been dormant for over a decade, and it's one of my favorite franchises. And I know, honestly, it doesn't look good graphically. It doesn't look all that great at all. And when it comes to a slew of other remakes by other devs, they look way better. I'm going to make a separate video addressing all of that, guys, because in the end, I think I'm still going to buy it. And I can't wait to play it simply because I feel that if Ubisoft is gauging the future of the Prince of Persia franchise based on this title alone, yes, I do want more Prince of Persia. So yes, I am going to purchase it and support that. And hopefully we can get a good Prince of Persia game that is graphically next gen and awesome and all that good stuff. We did get some Scott Pilgrim stuff, some new Rainbow Six Siege stuff. Mainly in Rainbow Six Siege, you're going to get Sam Fisher as an operator. Just give this guy his own game already, okay, Ubisoft? It's time for another Splinter Cell. Quit shoehorning this guy into every franchise possible and toying with our emotions. It's driving me insane. It sucks when publishers do this. Just make another Splinter Cell game already. We got to see more of Watch Dogs Legions, and I'm still kind of worried how this game is going to turn out in the grand scheme of storytelling, considering that you can recruit and play as anybody. I mean, gameplay, it could be fun, but how's that really going to affect the story of the franchise and progress that moving forward? I'm also kind of concerned how they've already got a roadmap for DLC before the game's released. I hate it when publishers do this. The Aiden Pierce is the first DLC drop in their season pass, so you can play the Aiden Pierce storyline or whatever. Again, I think this is kind of egregious, and this is why a lot of people turn off on AAA stuff. because they do stuff like this. The last big to do was a MMOX game style game with lots of players populating the world. It's called Riders Republic, and it looks like it could be a blast for those who are more a fan of The Crew, or perhaps Steep, or even games like the old Tony Hawk games, maybe even some Mike McGrath stuff, some Skate. It looks really cool. I don't know if that's for me, but if you're into that type of game and looking forward to it, happy that they revealed that. It is something new, so we'll have to see what it is closer to when it comes out. Anyway, guys, that's all I have for you this week. Don't forget to follow me on Twitch and on Discord. Again, links are in the description. And like I said, if you subscribe and like the video, if you had a good time here talking video games, I'd really appreciate that, because it does help the channel grow. If you want to show your support for the show, you can go to stando.live, where you can leave a tip if you feel like you want to. Also, we have an awesome merch store. You can check out some of the merch there. I love your faces, guys. Thank you so much for watching and just give me just a little bit of your time. I'll catch you next time. Have a good one.